Well, hello there, my single mother tribe. How are you doing? I'm Hope, your fairy single godmother, and I would like to welcome you to another episode of Jumpstart Your Week Monday, where I inspire, empower, and equip you with the tools that you need in order to live a life successfully and to thrive in every area of your life. In this week's episode of Jumpstart Your Week Monday, I am continuing on my Power of Momentum series, and today I'm going to be discussing the importance of celebrating your small wins. So if you want to hear more, then stick around. Okay, well, welcome, my single mother tribe. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Jumpstart Your Week Monday. And before I get right into this week's episode, if you are joining me via Hope for Single Mothers YouTube channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button for me, please. And also, don't forget to ring that bell. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a video, which is on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Jumpstart Your Week Monday, Check-In Wednesday, and Self-Care Saturday, okay? Also, if you are joining me for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in, and I would like to personally welcome you to your new tribe. Okay, so last week, I talked about the importance of tracking your progress, and I spoke about how to, develop a metric system to measure where you are in the process of accomplishing your goals and dreams, and specifically in regards to your vision board. So I spoke about, if you don't know where you are, it's kind of hard to know how far you've come, and definitely to know how far you have left to go. So I'm not going to get into that, but I do encourage you to watch that video. And I'm going to have it up here for you to click on afterwards. And also the link you can look at in the comment section below. You can click the link to get that video and look at it. Okay, so I highly encourage you to do that for me. But for today, I'm going to discuss with you just the importance of how, we should celebrate our victories and our small wins. I can personally say a lot of times, I know for myself, and to be honest, I didn't always celebrate myself. It was something that I really did not do all the time. I was good at celebrating others. And I know as single mothers, we're so good at doing things for other people and for our children. But when it comes to us, we kind of lack in that area. But I just believe it's very important in regards to accomplishing our goals and dreams, how important it is to take time out to recognize our accomplishments. Now, we may not have, finished or accomplished, the bigger goal, the bigger dream, but I believe that certainly, the little things that we do add up to be bigger things. Lisa Nichols, who I admire and I had the opportunity of meeting and hearing speak in person, and I just really admire Lisa Nichols. She is an awesome speaker and teacher. And Lisa talks about how we should celebrate our small wins, that we have micro wins, but we have macro wins. And so I think a lot of times, we get, like I said, so focused on the macro, the big things, that we lose sight or we forget about the small things that really add up to be bigger things. When it comes to, setting goals, it's not, I think the small goals that we set are just as important as the big goals. And actually, it's a step-by-step process. So it's the little things that we do that add up to the bigger things. So I just think that it's so important to take time out to celebrate that. When I think about, God, and I find it very interesting that, the creator of the universe took time out every day to look at what he had called into existence, to look at his creation. And he looked at it, he admired it, and he approved it. And he said, that is good. You know, so that, I don't know, that's a lesson for me, and I hopefully it's a lesson for you as well, that if God, the creator of the universe, took time out to admire the work that he had done and to say that it is good, then I believe that it's important for us to do that as well. Why? Well, because when we take time out to, to look at what we've done, like I said, sometimes we get so caught up in the process of things. Sometimes we get so caught up in a task of a thing that we don't get to enjoy the process. And I honestly believe that in our lives that God desires for us to enjoy life. Life is not just a project. Life is not just a task, but life is to be lived. Life is to be enjoyed. Life is to be celebrated. And I think that it's important that if God took time out in his creation, throughout his creation, to celebrate and to look at it and to admire it, then we should do the same thing as well. So basically, when we take time out to celebrate little wins or micro wins, what it's doing is motivating us. It's keeping us motivated, and it's helping us, like I said, to see how far we've come. Sometimes we don't know how far we've come until we take a step back and kind of step back from things and actually look and say, wow, with the help of God, I did that, and it gives you that encouragement. It gives you that motivation. It gives you that energy that you need to continue on. A lot of times I think people who don't make it to accomplishing certain goals and dreams is that they don't celebrate, that they get so caught up in the process. They get so caught up on how hard the task is or task is or what's before them, that they don't have an opportunity to look back and see how far they've come and what they have already done, and we need that. We need to keep ourselves motivated, especially when it concerns fulfilling our God-given purpose and dreams. We have to stay motivated. Yes, we're going to have some times when we're discouraged and, sometimes when we're frustrated, but I think for the most part, we are to enjoy the process. Like I said, I believe that, God desires for us to enjoy the process of our life. He wants us to enjoy our life. And I think that life is to be enjoyed and not, tolerated or, but I believe that, he desires for us to enjoy our life. Okay. So like I said, Ecclesiastes 3:13 says, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor, because it's a gift from God. And I would like to replace that word labor with work. So whatever we put our hands to, whatever God puts on our hearts to do, and we're doing it, that's a gift from him. And like I said, God, I believe God, he designed our lives and created our lives to be enjoyed, not to be burdensome, I don't believe that we are to, live this life frustrated and disgusted and always just stressed out. But we are to enjoy it. And like I said, I know there's going to be moments of discouragement and frustration, but that should not be the whole of our lives, that our whole life should not be a struggle. Our whole life should not be stressed out. Our whole life should not be, where we're just tolerating it, but our lives are to be enjoyed. So I think it's very important to celebrate because it helps us keep the right perspective. It helps us stay motivated. It gives us that drive and that energy to press past and to push towards the finish line of accomplishing that which God has set it on, put on our hearts to do. Also, as single mothers, I think it's very important. One of the things that I have incorporated since my children were younger was to celebrate even our children. I think sometimes we get so, and I know for myself, I can only speak for myself, that you get so focused on being a mother, a single mother. There's so many responsibilities and things on our plate, and we can get tunnel vision, and it could just be it's a daily thing, and it could be a daily routine, and we get so locked into routine that we don't enjoy the process. We don't enjoy the ride, as I would like to say. And so take time out. I encourage you to take time out to celebrate your children. When they're doing well in school, pat them on the back, give them a high five. I like to do fist pumps with my children and just say, way to go, encourage them, because as we're teaching them to do that, that's something that they will begin to do themselves. Like I said, I just think that, for the most part, we live in a society where people are not celebrated as much as they should be celebrated. And I always say that if you don't celebrate yourself, then no one else is going to, or people rarely celebrate others. But we can be the ones, like I said, to change that by allowing our children to see that it's okay to celebrate your accomplishments, by celebrating ourselves and even celebrating their accomplishments. Like I said, when they do have good grades and when they're behaving well, those are things to be celebrated. I think a lot of times we put so much emphasis on bad behavior. We put so much attention on bad behavior, and that is what, whatever we put attention to is what's going to manifest the most in our lives. So if we zero in and we focus on the negative, well, that's what we're going to see more of. If you're dealing with a child with negative behavior, or who's acting out, just think about it. Are you focusing on that thing? Because it could be that that's what you're putting all your time and attention in, and that's what you're seeing the manifestation of, is what you're focusing on. But focus on those little things. I've learned, and it can be hard depending on the personality and the type of your child. It can be hard, and I'm not saying, correction, not to correct them or discipline them when necessary, but I'm just saying sometimes we could tend to focus so much on that negative behavior that we miss the other good things that they're doing. And it's actually the good things that they're doing that if we bring to their attention, if we celebrate it, that they'll see, wow, mom is focusing more on my good behavior than she is my bad behavior, and it'll turn around. The thing that you focus on most is what you're going to see more than. So if you focus on the bad behavior, you're going to see more bad behavior. If you focus on more of the good behavior, children love to be celebrated. They love to be praised. So draw that out of them by praising them and celebrating them for the good they do. And when needed and being corrected, also do that as well, but don't make it the main focus of everything that your child does, okay? I know what I'm talking about here. I have 5 children and I had to learn it for myself, okay? And like I said, it could be difficult sometimes, but you just have to train yourself in that way. And I'm telling you, I kid you not, you will definitely see a difference when you begin to focus and shift your focus on the good instead of the bad, okay? So I hope I said something today to encourage you and to motivate you. Once again, take time out. If the creator of the universe, God himself, took time every day to celebrate his creation, his masterpiece, then we should do as well. Take time out after you've accomplished something, a goal, a task. You're one step further, not one step further, but you're one step closer to accomplishing that thing, to fulfilling that thing. And that's something to be celebrated. You're not where you used to be yesterday. You're not where you used to be a year ago. That's something to be celebrated, okay? If you really think, and I really don't think you have to think hard, I know that you can find something to celebrate in you and in your children. So my challenge to you this week is take some time and celebrate yourself. Take some time and celebrate your children. Find something that you have done and accomplished and celebrate. Whether it be take a day off and just rest. After the 6th day, God rested on the 7th day, So, celebration can come in so many forms. It can come in the form of a compliment. It can come in the form of a praise. It can come in the form of, a treat. It can come in the form of rest. It can come in the form of a hug, a high five, a fist pump, whatever, you consider to be, a symbol of celebration. Take time out this week and do that for yourself and also for your children. And I'm telling you, especially concerning your children, you will begin to see a difference when you focus more so on the positive than you do on the negative. Begin to praise them for those positive things that they've done. Begin to praise them for getting good grades and the way they may have handled a difficult situation. Praise them for that, and you're going to see more positive behavior come out of them, okay? So, if you are joining me via Hope for Single Mothers YouTube channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I certainly hope that today's episode really helped you out and encouraged you. And also, if you can comment below, I am really curious of what you would do, of what you do to celebrate. How do you celebrate yourself? How do you celebrate your children? What do you do when their kids bring home a good grade or they get a good report card? I'm really curious of what you do. What do you do when they behave well, and what do you do for yourself? Okay, so I'm really curious to know how you celebrate, what you do. Go ahead and put that in the comment section below, okay? And also, if you can go ahead and click that bell for me while you're at it, that way you will be notified every time I upload a video, which is on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, okay? Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I certainly look forward to check-in Wednesday with you, where I will be picking back up on my Mind Makeover series, which has been an awesome series. You don't want to miss it, okay? Well, in the meantime, I leave you with love, peace, and blessings. Bye-bye.